And if you've always wanted to be a step ahead, Blender 4.0 the Alpha is now here. This is a fresh version of Blender that allows you to test out new features coming to Blender before they make it to beta or final release. And for those who like to get this, all you need to do is go over to blender.org, click on download, scroll all the way down, go over to download experimental, and you would notice that we have Blender 4.0 the Alpha. This is across all platforms, so whether you want this for Windows, Mac or Linux, you'll be able to get it. And for those who like to take a look at the timeline, new features and changes will be happening from now till sometime in August. And Beacon 2 will be happening from August the 23rd, and we will be expecting pre-release and final release sometime in November. And this in itself will provide an opportunity for most of the features that are currently being developed by the folks at Blender Foundation to be implemented. Of course, a whole lot of development have actually started off, and a set of cool features are beginning to roll into Blender 4.0. So we have the modeling and UV, Python API and text editor, render and cycles, user interface, and add-ons. And actually, I think for all of this, Python API and text editor has more stuff, as we have some breaking changes for meshes, nodes, shader nodes, Blender operator, and Blender font. So all of this gets to do with Python, and most of them are either API removal, argument update or removal, property removal like we have within the nodes and also within the mesh. And right here within the shader, we do have an update. In terms of modeling and UV, there's just one update that is right here, and that has to do with transform. There's a new option which can be accessed in the key map setting, which enables navigation in the 3D viewport during transformation. Cycles is already having some cool updates. With this, we are sure to see that 4.0 will be shipping with light and shadow linking. This is actually one of the features that lots of people actually wanted to see with 3.6, but it's pretty interesting to see that 4.0 is coming with it. And for those who like to take a look at this, you can simply come right here and see how the setup, behavior, and performance looks like. For sure, we've covered a video about this explaining some of these things in details, which I'm going to put a link in the description for that. And for anyone who would like to grab it, you can also take a look at the new build that can help you explore this currently. And in future versions of light linking, there is plans to support linking to the word lighting and adding a more convenient user interface to view and manage all light links in the scene. And for shader node, just like we talked about for Python and API, the glossy and anisotropic BSDF are now merged into a single glossy BSDF with anisotropic control. And when opening files saved in 4.0 in older versions, all glossy BSDF nodes will now show as anisotropic BSDF nodes. And for user interface, there's a few things that are now here. All rotational inputs now shown with maximum precision. The file browser volume and system item tooltip no longer mentions renaming. The options panel accessed in the object mode and edit mesh mode has now been recognized. And for Windows, there's a few updates in regards to registration and Blender file association. And for Addon, we currently have the 3ds input-output. Of course, we did see this come over to Blender 3.6, but now we're getting a few updates to this. The first one is the 3ds exporter has now gotten the property to export animation keyframes. Furthermore, keyframe export is optional to avoid crashing any importers which cannot handle the keyframe section. Blender 4.0 will definitely be coming with some very interesting features, and if we actually go all the way back to 2.8, 2.9 and even 3.0, there is no way that the features that we've just seen are even close to the features that we'll be seeing. There's definitely going to be more features coming to Blender 4.0. Now if we time machine all the way back to 2.8, you would notice that 2.8 was the first time we got a whole new workspace with an updated UI. We got some very interesting tools and updated gizmo. That was the first time we got to see Eevee. The grease pencil was now a full 2D drawing and animation system. Cycles were showing up for real, and there was a principal volume shader. We also got some very impressive new features for 2.90, and the same thing can be said for 3.0. As for 3.0, we got lots of nodes at this point coming from the previous version of Blender. Grease pencil was having a huge update, the USD importer actually made its first debut, and some more animation and rigging tools actually made it to 3.0. And of course, we did get lots of updates to cycles and so on. Now, why I had to mention all of this is to bring to the point that 4.0 would definitely be coming with some very impressive things. And I kind of think that Grease Pencil 3.0 will be coming. We'll probably be seeing more simulation nodes, more real-time simulation nodes, and node-based tools might be coming to 4.0. The brush system, the asset shelf, if these don't make it to 3.6, they'll probably come into 4.0. Volca might be making its first debut, and the Eevee Next might potentially be coming. Now, the reason why I kind of think that some of these things might be showing up is this, that recently the folks at Blender Studio just announced a new project Gold, which is the next Blender open movie. And we all know how the folks at Blender Foundation kind of deal with open movies, as they get to battle test some of the features during development before they get final release. And from here, we can already start seeing some things that they are targeting to get done by working through with this project. First off is the advanced rendering techniques such as light linking, which is already in development like we talked about and seen. Simulation nodes might probably be making it right here, and geometry node based tools might be showing up. Extend the viewport compositor and interactive image processing, add directable, stylized, non-photorealistic rendering with cycles, and I think more features might be developed while working on this project, and they might potentially make it to 4.0 or 4.1. But we all know that at the end of the day, the decision making is left for the folks at Blender Foundation. These are my own assumptions of features that might be making it to 4.0. So this is it. For those who like to come through and take a look at all of this, links to this is going to be in the description, so do well to check it out. And of course, if you like this video or you learned something from this, you can go ahead and give a like and don't forget to share with a friend. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.